everyone. In this video, I am going to discuss the part 2 of United Nations, that is the organization which are under the United Nations. I've already discussed some of the organizations in the previous video, that is the part 1. In this part 2, I am going to discuss the rest of the videos which are left. So let's begin with the next organization, that is Universal Postal Union. And as the name suggests, its primary focus is the cooperation between the postal sector. So basically it is related to the postal services or the post services. It was established in the year 1874 and has its headquarters in Swiss capital. So, Universal Postal Union, as the name suggests, it's related to the universal network of providing the up-to-date products and services. Now, what is the need of coming up with this Universal Postal Union, or why was this Universal Postal Union established? So, what happened during the year 17th or the 18th century? There was the exchange of mail between the countries, and it was largely and on the larger scale, it was organized by the bilateral postal agreements. So, what happened was the countries on their individual levels, or they have the bilateral postal agreements between them, but during these, so by the 19th century, what happened was this web of the bilateral agreements between the countries, like two countries, it had become so complex that it had begun to impede the rapidly developing trade and commercial sectors. So we needed the order and simplification, and therefore on 9th of October 1874. Now two things are important, that is the 9th of October, which is celebrated as the World Post Day. Therefore, this day has been observed as the World Post Day, and this General Postal Union was established on 9th October 1874. Then in the year 1878, the name was changed to Universal Postal Union. So earlier it was General Postal Union, and it was established on 9th of October 1874, and the same day is observed as the World Post Day. This is very important. And in the year 1878, the name was changed to Universal Postal Union. So there are four bodies under the Universal Postal Union. The first one is the Congress, the Council of Administration, the Postal Operations Council, and the International Bureau. So these are the major organizations below this Universal Postal Union, and two cooperatives. The first one is the Telematics Cooperatives, and next is the EMS Cooperative. Moving on to the next organization, that is the World Meteorological Organization. So what happened was this World Meteorological Organization, or WMO, is dedicated towards the international cooperation and the coordination for studying the behavior of Earth's atmosphere. And this is one of a kind of organization which was established in the year 1950, and it has its headquarters in Geneva, Switzerland. So as the name suggests, this organization is related to study the state and the behavior of the Earth's atmosphere, and the need for this organization arrived when we wanted to study the Earth's atmosphere, and it originated originally from this International Meteorological Organization. So before the name was changed, earlier it was International Meteorological Organization, and later the name was changed to World Meteorological Organization, established in the year 1950. So what are the basic functions or what are the basic objectives being achieved by this organization? So they establish a network of observational stations. So they come up with these stations so that they could provide the weather and climate and water related data. The next one is the data management centers in the telecommunication system, which is the must for studying the Earth's behavior and atmosphere. Next, obviously there are certain standards which need to be observed, and they create these standards and monitor in order to ensure the uniformity all over the world, or all over the organizations which are established for studying the Earth's behavior. The next one is the application of science and technology in this operational meteorology, and the last focus area is providing the research and training in this sector. The next organization is WIPO, which is a World Intellectual Property Organization, and as the name suggests, it was related to encourage the activity to promote the protection of intellectual property throughout the world, and it was established in the year 1967 and has its headquarters in Geneva, Switzerland. So the World Meteorological Organization even has its headquarters in Geneva, Switzerland, and the World Intellectual Property Organization also has its headquarters in Geneva, Switzerland. Now, there's a story behind coming up with this organization, that is WIPO, the World Intellectual Property Organization. So, what happened was in 1883, the Paris Convention for the Protection of Industrial Property is born, and this international agreement was the first major step taken to help creators ensure that their intellectual works are protected in other countries. Now, what was the need, or why was this Paris Convention formed? So, what happened was the foreign exhibitors refused to attend the international exhibition which was scheduled to be held in Vienna. So, what happened was these foreign exhibitors refused to attend this exhibition because they were afraid of their ideas, that they were afraid that their ideas would be stolen and exploited commercially in other countries. Therefore, there was this need to protect the intellectual property of these people and to ensure that their work or the property is protected. So, the United International Bureau for the Protection of Intellectual Property, which was earlier the or we could say the immediate predecessor of this WIPO, was established in the year 1893. So, after this Paris Convention in 1883, after 10 years, the United International Bureau for the Protection of Intellectual Property was established in this year 1893, and later in 1970, this BIRB was transformed to become the World Intellectual Property Organization. So, the need for the organization arose when the people felt that their property is not secured or they would be exploited commercially in other countries. Now, this WIPO has two main objectives. The first one is to promote the protection of intellectual property worldwide, which is the basic reason why this organization was established. And next one is to ensure the administrative cooperation among the intellectual property unions established by this treaties that WIPO administers. So, to ensure the administrative cooperation and to promote the protection of intellectual property, WIPO, these are the main objectives of WIPO. Coming up to the International Fund for Agriculture Development. So, one important thing to note is don't go with the name. So, this IFAD was an international financial institution and it is currently the specialized agency which is dedicated to eradicate poverty and hunger in the rural areas of developing countries. So, you might think that it is related to the agriculture development, but it is more or less related to the development of the farmers or the people living in the rural areas of the developing countries. Now, this organization was established in the year 1977 and the headquarters are in Rome, Italy. So, what is the main purpose of this organization? To eradicate poverty and hunger in the areas of developing countries. Important point to note here is that it is related to the development in the developing countries. So, what happened was there was this survey which found that 75% of the world's poor live in the rural areas in the developing countries. 75% is a huge number, yet only 4% of this official development assistance goes to agriculture. So, 4%, only 4% assistance goes to agriculture. Therefore, this need to develop and eradicate hunger and provide assistance to the people living in the rural areas of the developing countries. So, the main aim is to empower the poor rural men and women in the developing countries so that they could achieve higher incomes and they could improve their standard of living. How does the IFAD perform its function? So, IFAD connects the producers, the private sectors and the governments and the other players in the agriculture and rural sectors so that everyone is benefited. And through this partnership, they invest in the rural development and they have this broker partnership among the diverse parties for the development. Moving on to the next organization, that is the United Nations Industrial Development Organization, and as the name suggests, this organization has the primary objective to promote and accelerate the industrial development. Always remember the primary objective of these organizations, as some organizations are specially being established for the developed countries and some for the developing countries. So do remember the primary objective or the focus areas of these organizations. So, United Nations Industrial Development Organization is for the developing countries and to accelerate their industrial development. And it was established in 1966 and has its headquarters in Vienna, Austria. So a resolution was passed in the year 1966 so that an autonomous body could be created to promote the and accelerate this industrialization of developing countries. And what are the four strategic priorities, or what we can say is the four areas of this organization? So the first function or the first focus area is creating the shared prosperity. So if you are achieving something, or one developing country is achieving something, the same development should be shared with the other countries as well. Next is advancing economic competitiveness. When there is competitiveness between the countries for development, then there is always a positive path for the development of these countries. Next is safeguarding the environment. That is very important, as we always harm the environment in developing our countries. Next is strengthening knowledge and institutions. So this is the basic education is always required for the development of the countries. So these are the four primary strategic, or we could say the four strategic priority of United Nations Industrial Development Organization. Moving on to the next, that is the United Nations World Tourism Organization, or UNWTO. This UNWTO, named as the name suggests, is responsible for the sustainable and the promotion of the responsible, accessible tourism for everyone around the world. It has its headquarters in Madrid, Spain, and it was established in the year 1975. Some of the priorities of United Nations World Tourism Organization is that first one is mainstreaming the tourism in the global agenda. So this should be the global agenda of the countries to mainstream tourism, and this is one of the primary objective of United Nations World Tourism Organization. The next is improving tourism competitiveness, which is or we could say the healthy competition between the countries to improve their tourism. Obviously, the sustainable tourism development is required without hampering or harming the environment. Next is advancing tourism's contribution to poverty reduction and development. If we believe in developing the one sector of the society, then it should obviously contribute towards poverty reduction and development of the people all around that sector. Next is fostering knowledge and education and capacity building. So if we are not educated regarding the tourism, or we are not educated regarding the development of tourism, then there is no use of mainstreaming tourism in the global agenda. The next one is building partnership between countries, and so that they could boost the tourism. So these are some of the priorities or the main focus area of the United Nations World Tourism Organization. Next is the International Maritime Organization, very important organization, and it has the responsibility for the safety and security of shipping and the prevention of marine and the atmospheric pollution by the ships. So when we transport from a country to another country through sea route, then there is always an atmospheric pollution created by these ships. Therefore, this International Maritime Organization is responsible for the safety and security, and it was established in the year 1948, just after India became independent in 1947. And so there is always a way to remember the establishment year, because if we connect it with some story, then only we will be able to remember the establishment year. The headquarters of the International Maritime Organization are located in London, United Kingdom. So earlier there was this intergovernmental maritime consultative organization, which was formed in order to bring the regulation and the safety of the shipping. Later it was transformed into an international framework, and it was renamed as International Maritime Organization in the year 1982. So this organization not only provides the safety of life and marine population, but also it provides the safe navigation. So it provides the safe navigation, the safety of life of both people and marine life, and they also provide the liability and the compensation, the ship recycling, the training and the certificates of the seafarers. So these are some of the responsibilities of this International Maritime Organization. One important point to note here is 27 September 2018, or we could say that 27 September is observed as the World Maritime Day, and there is this system which is known as the Global Maritime Distress and Safety System, which provide the integrated communication, or it is an integrated communication system using the satellites and terrestrial radio communication to ensure that no matter where a ship is in distress, aid can be dispatched. So through this global maritime distress and safety system, the help is provided to the ships no matter where they are located or where they are stuck. So this is all for the United Nations organization. These are total 14 organizations, and if you like the video, please subscribe to the channel Anuj Jindal. We'll be coming up with the next video in which I'm going to discuss the regional organization. So these were the international organization. Now I will be discussing the regional organization like SAARC, BRICS, SCO. These are some of the regional organization. If you have any feedback, please come up with your feedback in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching the video.